Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 73 of Swiss Army Sports. I'm your host, Will Spain, former long snapper for the Troy Trojans, Osby Governors, and partially Houston Cougars. Joined by my side, former offensive lineman for the Hendricks College Warriors, current man of electricity, Luke the Nuke Wallman. What's going on, brother?
Your face just started playing on my computer. I was like, what? I was a little confused.
Yeah, I saw the look on of concern on Luke's face. Apparently,
I have not used Spotify on this laptop in years. So
playing a little Lady Gaga. Hey, all respect to you. Let's get into the agenda for today. Again, as you can tell, me and Luke are the only ones dedicated enough to be on this podcast every episode. The producer did his work. He made the slides. He just he had domestic obligations to attend to, as he does conveniently most podcast days. And Chaser played some golf at Disney World today.
Is he drinking around the world?
I don't know, but he had his Erling Haaland jersey on today, which is absolutely electric. I hope he visited Norway at Epcot.
He needs to drink around the world.
Yes, he does, Chase. So when you do listen to this, go drink around the world, buddy, if you haven't already. And if you have, why have we not seen documentation of such drinking around the world?
You're going to see documentation on the 4th.
100%. Yeah. Swiss Army should have seen the palette of fireworks we got for the Swiss Army 4th of July celebration. Anyway, Cooler Pool, as we do to start every episode, NBA trade news, some big ones happened across the association, especially here locally in Memphis. NASCAR picks at Sonoma results. Bang from your boy over here. Went back to back.
Still was minus money.
Saw it coming though. I mean,
but he was still at minus money.
I guess I thought he was due at some point.
I know. He might have been at like plus 100 or like something. He had one road course. It was kind of shocking.
It was kind of shocking, but obviously rightfully so. World Cup recap, man. The knockout stages assigned for the game this afternoon have
been electric.
Been electric in every facet. World Cup round of 16 picks continue. We go through the Thursday games. We will be recording on Thursday. However, we just decided to tackle those as is. And then best things this weekend, short and sweet. Let's keep it going. Cool or bull. This is to get the Memphis people a little riled up.
See, I just want to throw this out there. I almost put in mind, because we don't look at these before like we do this. I was gonna write, will say something about the Grizzlies. So yeah, but continue.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we looking up? Yeah, man, dude.
Yeah. So you can already go.
They're just
the Memphis Grizzlies are the Washington Commanders of the NBA, and this is kind of just, you know how a lot of people do those comparisons of NFL to NHL or NFL to NBA. This was in my head all day after the trade to Portland of Ja Morant for the return that they got, for the cap situation that the team's in. The Memphis Grizzlies are the Washington Commanders of the NBA. Here's why. Now, the Grizzlies had that really good stretch in like the late to mid to late 2010s with Zebo in the grit and grind era, and then had another really good stretch with Ja Morant as he first came into the league with Dylan Brooks and Jaren Jackson Jr. However, other than that, the Memphis Grizzlies are a bottom feeder lottery team and an NBA team. The Commanders, Jaden Daniels bump, had a bump when in the late 2000s when they were still the Skins. Other than that, what are the Washington Commanders? Top 10 NFL draft pick team, again, in one of the hardest divisions, the NFC East. What are the Grizzlies in? The absolute gauntlet of the NBA Western Conference. Not necessarily in a demeaning way are the Memphis Grizzlies the Washington Commanders of the NBA, but also kind of in a demeaning way in like their front office. Questionable pasts. One was, potentially war crimes. The other one potentially, a little essay. Both somehow feature FedEx. I mean, it's the start lining up at a point where it's kind of weird. And then just kind of playoff success. They kind of get there, but then maybe they'll have a deep run every once in a while. Obviously, the Grizzlies have been around a lot shorter than the Washington Commanders have. But when I kind of like took a look at it and condensed it as into like sections of time of their time being a franchise alive, it just kind of aligns up. Very well. So, will we see the Commanders trade Jaden Daniels very soon? I don't know, but we just saw him Chase Young a couple of years ago. So, I mean, for not a great return. So, are the Commanders the Grizzlies of the NFL, and are the Grizzlies the Commanders of the NBA? Cooler Bull.
I'm gonna go Bull because I think they're more like the Jags because it's an
Okay,
expansion team.
So there are a couple teams I had it narrowed down to.
Yeah.
I was like, no, they've been too good enough lately to be the Jets.
Yeah,
I was like,
I would never talk to you again if you said that.
now the Jags make sense because the
An
Jags are always
expansion.
threatened to
And
leave.
they had Blake Bortles, and they have had some recent success as of late. Still, it's just, I mean, they are a completely new franchise. So, I mean, like if they had been around since the '70s and they had still been doing this,
The Jaguars would have been a good comparison as well.
yeah,
I guess we can start. We got time on the ep. Who else could this possibly be? Because I think the Phoenix Suns are like,
the Jets.
no, come on.
Y'all haven't won anything.
I think the Minnesota Vikings is
Have
actually
they not won anything?
they have never won a Super Bowl, but
okay.
they're decently competitive most years.
Yeah.
They've had a couple bad years and we're like really long stretches of bad years, but they're decently competitive and usually like either a fringe playoff team or a playoff team. I always kind of thought of us as the Vikings. Who could the Grizzlies also be? Or like the Chargers.
Yeah.
The Chargers would be a good one.
I would say the
Panthers. Stafford Rams.
I would say
Panthers.
I would say the Panthers, but I think if you've been to a Super Bowl, it's I will say this about the Grizzlies. Like we took the 2015 or 2016 Warriors to like 6 or 7. I mean, we almost won that series. So
and that could be kind of that Jags run in
yeah to the AFC.
Yeah.
Championship.
I rescind this actually. The Grizzlies are the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Although all the other comparisons of the Commanders and the Grizzlies are kind of weird.
Yeah,
but
FedEx
the FedEx
stuff.
and, anyway, so you go Bull on that. Interested to see what old Charlie Harrell would think of this comparison.
I mean,
it's obviously not a Grizzlies fan, just a John Morant fan.
He's still a Grizzlies
I
fan.
know he's heartbroken. Poor guy.
I'm heartbroken too. We'll talk about it.
I'm not. Cooler Bull, Luke. What do you have?
I can't even
for
remember
me?
what I put. Oh, this has been one of the craziest off seasons in years. We're seeing superstars shipped around. LeBron's moving teams, which if LeBron moves in general, that's a big offseason move. I mean, you've seen 3 high-level superstars get traded. And I mean,
We throw that superstar.
Oh, dude, John Morant.
I'm baiting.
It completely worked. It's still fresh. Okay, it's still completely fresh. But we've seen some free agents move around a bunch. It's just been a very hectic.
Miles Bridges to the Suns is a big move for our franchise.
It's been especially the Hornets kind of blowing some stuff up, which was very shocking.
It didn't make any sense for me.
Jaylen Brown wanting out in the way that he has. I just think it's been one of the more crazy.
I'll touch on that when we get to the trades. This is completely cool.
Yeah. I had nothing for today.
No, this is obviously I couldn't either. I mean, the Grizzlies to the Commanders. It's been on my mind all day though. Yeah, this is completely cool. I mean, I'm a hockey guy first before, really any sport. This year's free agent pool is very lackluster. Now, there have been some big trades. Like, we just saw Jakob Markstrom from the New Jersey Devils, a goalie, get traded to the Florida Panthers. Now, that means Sergei Bobrovsky is probably on the move, which that'll be
Chuck.
Yeah,
or whatever.
and they got the Kachuk. So there's been some bigger trades in the NHL, but as terms like the free agent pool, not necessarily a big year. Like Eric Hollow is a top center, and he's a second liner for the Predators, and Adam Henrique, a third liner for the Oilers, was a top 5 center in the free agent pool this year. It just isn't a big free agent pool. So the NBA has kept me very entertained in terms of all this movement. Yeah, this is completely cool. Yeah. Speaking of the NBA,
it's a very valid slide.
I'm happy.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, where do you want to? I guess we're going to start out with the first.
Let's just start out with the Hornets. I think
we can really just talk about the Hornets in general. Yes. I agree. This trade for me was, I guess, it opened the door for the Miles Bridges trade to the Phoenix Suns, and this is a Hornets team that we were kind of bullish on. And they've kind of blown up any sort of veteran presence they've had in their room. I mean, like I told Michael when we were in Vegas, we were talking about this trade. are they really, really, really trying to do the Thunder? Are they trying to do the Thunder? Are they trying to play the waiting game? Are they trying to just accumulate an ass load of draft picks to eventually one day build up a super young core that can be viable for a very long time? Maybe. I think LaMelo Ball's young enough to where he shouldn't even fit in that conversation.
Miles Bridges is the oldest guy, and I think he's like 30.
Yeah, they were already a really young team. Um, I just
And they got two picks that we love in the draft this year with Haynes Steinbach and Christian Anderson. I mean, like
and I'm trying to remember the full trade details for LaMelo Ball. So that's
the
why.
LaMelo
Okay,
thing,
so LaMelo and Josh Green to the Wolves. Nas Reed, old as hell,
but he's still a reliable
a
big.
very good big. A 2033 unprotected first rounder. First round pick swaps in 28, 29, and 30, and then 29, 32, and 33 second round picks. Um, it's hard for me to wrap my head around. One could see it as a salary dump.
See, that's
Are they trying to bring in someone massive
Yeah.
to kind of center around this young core? Is kind of where my head kind of went. Are they just going for the picks? But then it wouldn't make sense for the pick swap in the first round if they're just going for the picks. What did you take away from this? And this is kind of compounding. I know he didn't include on the slide the Miles Bridges trade where they got Grayson Allen and Royce O'Neal, which, by the way, I hate to see Royce O'Neal leave Phoenix. I love that dude.
Yeah.
It is butter from the beyond the arc. No jump, straight butter. Royce O'Neal, hate to see him leave. Although we're getting Miles Bridges, so I shouldn't be too upset. And I think our starting five right now is really solidified. What do you take away from these Hornets moves?
So I kind of thought when they traded LaMelo, they were salary dumping, obviously. And I kind of thought they were going to go after Jaylen Brown because he wants out. It's another guard. LaMelo is LaMelo. I mean, Jaylen Brown's going to play all 82, or at least pretty close to all 82. So I kind of thought that's what they were doing. Then they shift off Bridges, which I guess it's because they just drafted Steinbach, and I guess they think that highly of him. But then again, that would have been a main piece in you getting Jaylen Brown is sending up Miles Bridges up there. And I just didn't really get it. And also from the Timberwolves, I don't get trading for LaMelo Ball.
I guess we haven't talked about this side from the Timberwolves.
This is two ball dominant guards. Yeah. I really like. Yes, I think it'll end up working because they're two great players. But like Anthony Edwards needs the ball, LaMelo needs the ball. So like, I don't think it'll cause friction necessarily, but I just don't think it's. I don't know. I probably would. If you're going to get a point guard, you go get a point guard, and then maybe you go get a really good small forward. Another guy can go to the goal. You don't get two guys who are essentially. I'm going to call Anthony Edwards a shooter because he like a few years ago he led the NBA in 3-point attempts. Two shooters to play from the outside. I know Anthony Edwards goes to the goal, but like these are two guys who are going to chunk threes, and I just didn't really get that. I guess it's a great move for the Timberwolves because I mean you got Rudy Gobert who's probably on his last good year. So I mean you've got some pieces on that team that are aging, so you might as well just go in all in right now. But I don't know. It's just two ball dominant guards. I didn't really.
So I mean, you could kind of look at it from this way. Maybe they don't go the trade route for getting some bigger players, but the free agency pool. Could we see him make a move for a Russell Westbrook? Could we see him make a move for a Norman Powell? Could we make him see a move for
the Hornets?
Yeah,
I mean they just signed Kobe White, so they're saying that is our point guard. Which Kobe White was a very good player last year. So
Colin Sexton. I mean it's.
I mean I don't know. I guess they're saying we're moving on from LaMelo, and because they did get a good, I felt they got a very good compensation for him because I think he's either got 1 or 2 years left on his contract, so I think they got a very good deal from it. And Kobe White's a good point guard, so but they need to make a counter move and go get another big time player if they are to contend in a weaker Eastern Conference, especially how they caught fire in the back half of last year with Brandon Miller and Continental. So
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't think it ever happened. But with the young core they've got, I mean, if they were to go get, let's say, a Jalen Duren, or
which he wants out of the Pistons.
Yep.
He has said they want to sign and trade, so that could be something. But I mean, you never know.
Moving on now to our next big trade, and I'm just gonna leave it for last. Kawhi Leonard got traded to the Raptors today. Kawhi back in Toronto, which kind of feels right. I mean, I think
it was a lot though. in my opinion, for what they gave. At
I'm
least
talking about
draft.
for Kawhi's,
Oh, yes.
like Kawhi was at his best in Toronto.
Yes.
I mean, he just was. And now he's returning back to Toronto. You probably assume he's going to retire as a Toronto Raptor. But yes, I agree. You can go in on this. They gave up a lot.
Yeah, he's coming off a career year, which I completely get. But aging superstar, I don't think you give him what they gave 2 firsts and 2 seconds.
So
I
they-
think you
they
give
give
him
him-
first.
First off, I think Brandon Ingram's a dog.
Yeah,
they give
but,
up Brandon
I mean,
Ingram.
that would be your positional kind of ordeal.
Grady Dick, I mean, is a solid young player. A 2027 first round pick swap, 2031 unprotected first, 2033 unprotected first, 2030 second round pick, and a 2033
Yeah.
second round pick. I mean, that's giving up a lot for an aging superstar.
I know. So I guess they are going all in, which I completely agree. If you are in the Eastern Conference, you need to go all in. I mean, you just do.
This is the time. This is the
Yeah.
time to go all in for the Eastern
So,
Conference. Yes.
Which is why we saw the Heat trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, this is the time to go all in. I just think they gave up a little too much draft capital wise. He is coming off of a career year, but with Kawhi, when we saw him in LA outside of last year, he was hurt a lot. So that is kind of like the only worry I have of this trade. But I mean, the Raptors were very good. They were the 4 seed this year. It'll be interesting to see because I mean, you got who's their point guard? We were just talking about it. Oh, I mean, Emmanuel Quickly.
Mhm.
You got Scotty Barnes. You got Podol. You got him. I couldn't tell you the shooting guard, but it'll be very interesting to see if they do anything else. So I just think that the Clippers, even though they historically have been terrible at trading, actually, I think won this trade. I think it was a pretty even trade if the Raptors ended up going to a deep playoff run.
Yeah, I agree. You'll have to see how it plays out for
Yeah.
Toronto. Lastly, let's talk about it. John Morant has been sent to the Portland Trailblazers, who, by the way, have loaded up now. And they sent Jeremy Grant, 32-year-old veteran, who has 1 year left on his contract. Chris Murray, who is a completely irrelevant role player,
He's second round.
and $1 million cash considerations. I think Portland got a steal. They bought low on John Morant, which, man, I mean, people. And now what I read about this today is that this is setting up Portland to go get Jaylen Brown. A team with John Morant, Jaylen Brown, Damian Lillard. That's going to be a team that's going to contend in the West, which Portland has not seen success since prime Dame, like prime early 2010s Dame. I love this trade for the Portland Trailblazers. I am absolutely going to be going to the game when Portland comes to Memphis. I will be wearing my Damian Lillard jersey because it is going to be the most raucous environment in the NBA that year, I believe, other than when LeBron returns inevitably to LA. I think the LA fans will turn on LeBron like that, especially since he did it 24
Nobody's
hours.
going to turn on him, though.
You don't think Memphis will give
Dude,
Ja
if you go on any sort of social media, everyone wants him to succeed. This is what we were talking about too at work. It's one of the very rare times where a superstar does leave because he's disgruntled, and everyone actually wants him to do good. It's kind of like I'll compare it to the Grizzlies. Marc Gasol leaving to go to Toronto.
I remember that. Yeah,
and how like everyone wanted him to succeed.
Mike Conley going to Minnesota.
Yeah, so it's that same sort of thing. Everyone wants Ja to
Utah.
succeed.
He went to Utah first. Yep, Utah.
Yeah, but like everyone wants Ja to succeed, at least from what I've seen online, because nobody really wanted to ship him because we all love Ja. But I mean, when it was just really bad.
Let him say one bad thing about Memphis before that game, and
yeah, but he won't. I don't think he will. I think he actually really liked his time here. I would think. Obviously, the coaching staff he got in arguments with, and then I'm assuming he was not very favorable with the front office. So, I mean, it kind of sucks because like last year he was healthy. He went healthy. He was after we played in London. He didn't play again. And you're telling me you got to sit out because you strained your hamstring in like the first 2 months of the season? No. Like they held him out. And I'm like, I don't understand why. Because I honestly thought he was going to come back. We were going to play him for a month or two if he's going to play good. Because his value cannot get any lower than it is right now. Unless he tore his knee up, it cannot get any lower. So I kind of thought we would take him for a month or two, plays good, trade him, maybe get something. But with Ja's contract being $40-something million, it was going to be a salary dump for some aging superstar. Like we thought DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, or Jeremy Grant was also thrown around there. And it just sucks. It really sucks because, I mean, it all started when we left or let Dylan Brooks walk. That's when it all started.
Phoenix Sun great Dylan Brooks.
We let Dylan Brooks walk, and like a lot of Memphis fans still like Dylan Brooks.
Oh, he always gives a very warm reception when he comes back to the FedEx Forum.
He literally invented the culture in 2022. Like that was him. Like obviously you had Ja and Jaren, but that was Dylan. Dylan was the glue guy, and as soon as we let him walk, it just sucks.
Who would have thought the Grizzlies would be here?
I know, but I mean,
ago?
They've got a young team.
So my question for you as a Grizzlies fan, what is Memphis's like plan?
It's going to be, we're going to play this year. We're probably going to suck. Well, we will suck. And then we'll get another top draft pick next year, and we'll go from there. We'll try and do the same thing we did. We got Jaren. So I'll just kind of compare it in age of when drafted. We'll say Edie's been there the longest. We got him. Cedric Howard is still a dog, so I would give him as our jaw kind of. And then I guess I'll give Boozer to Bane, or like maybe another draft pick next year.
I'm a big fan of Cam Spencer.
So yeah, I like Cam Spencer. That's another thing too is the Heat want to trade for him. So it's just like we have 17 players on our roster. We're going to trade more. I don't know what we're going to trade for, but I mean, I don't know. We'll just suck. It'll be a good thing that we can go down there and just get drunk because who wants to watch Grizzlies play basketball?
It's gonna be cheap tickets, which should be electric.
So I mean, I didn't like that we took Boozer, obviously, but I really do hope Boozer succeeds. I don't want us to be the what's it called?
The Sixers?
No.
Because honestly, I think that's how it's gonna go. It's starting to look like the Charlotte Bobcats or the Sixers when.
No, I'm talking about like the LeBron draft. Mirotic or that like European Pistons draft.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be us from this draft. So.
Yeah, should have taken Darius Aiko.
I know. We tried to trade back up to 5 to get Aiko. So yeah.
Unfortunate. Spoon Max 250 at Sonoma. Winner, chicken dinner. I had it on the head of the nail.
I think Reed still ran well. I think he came top 10.
Yeah, let's take a peek at these results.
Is it going to load?
Yes, it did. Shout out NASCAR for loading today. Shane Van Gisbergen came in first. His teammate in both the Cup and in O'Reilly. Connor Zilic came in second. Sheldon Creed, another top 10 man. He's just a workhorse. He's steady Eddie. He's so due. But shout out Shane for winning and then winning again in the Cup Series at Sonoma at the Toyota Save Mart 350. We both hit that one. He was so overdue for a win in the Cup Series. Chase Briscoe ran better than I anticipated. Ty Gibbs qualified first. He ended up coming in third. Kyle Larson, he's had a rough year, came in fourth. And then Christopher Bell to round out that top 5. Finally didn't just get ran into out of nowhere.
And also shout out Luke for not checking his lineup because he was watching soccer and forgetting to sub in Connor Zilic instead of somebody else who didn't do good.
No, well.
So
Zilic got his first career top 10 in the Cup Series. Good for him. World Cup round of 32 results. Oh my God, we have had banger after banger until the France-Sweden game, which was honestly very competitive in the first half. Sweden had their chances, just too much class from France, but we'll get into that. Estaquio in the 90th +2 in stoppage time for Canada to get the win over South Africa. This was a very dominant game, in my opinion, for Canada. They had most of the chances, most of the momentum, even though South Africa had the majority of the possession. Canada had 1.38 expected goals, while South Africa just had 0.14, 12-6 shots, 25-8 on the touches in the opposition box. So, where does this bring Canada? They now have to play
France?
No, Morocco in the second round. So let's go ahead and touch on that game, not going in chronological order, but more in terms of the knockout bracket. Morocco beat the Dutch in penalties 3-2.
That was such a crappy matchup for both of them to get in the first round.
Yes, it was. It was two elite teams.
Yes.
However, I think Morocco was the better side in this game. They were more aggressive. They tried to force their chances. It seemed like the Dutch, honestly, ever since Morocco got that goal, ever since they got their goal, they said we're either going to win this game or we're going to go to penalties.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of the wrong way to approach it. They kind of mentioned that in the broadcast. Gapco absolutely stellar for him. 48 hours after losing his unborn
was it.
son. Yeah, his wife was 20 weeks pregnant, or girlfriend 20 weeks pregnant. Had a miscarriage. Unfortunate for him. Got a goal. Saw him overcome with emotion. But Diop on an absolute banger of a pass into the box, header into the net, knotted it up for Morocco and the Netherlands. It was all Morocco really ever since the halftime whistle, and it definitely was through extra time, and then deservingly so in penalties to get the 3-2 win. Poor penalties.
I know that's what I was about to
teams.
say. I wasn't able to stay up because I had to go to work, but I watched the full 90 minutes. I did watch the highlights the next day of the penalties. How do you have I think 3 guys missed the goal in
Yeah.
that game, and then you obviously had the German guy freaking hit a field goal.
I do have more information on that actually. But we'll get into that on that. So Canada Morocco play now. Let's do first thoughts on this matchup. I honestly think Canada would have rather have seen Morocco than the Dutch.
I don't know. I think Morocco is actually, in my opinion, same. I think it's just I don't think there's a really good team to want to see.
Yeah, that
From
matchup.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the Dutch, who are extremely good defensively, and I think Morocco just is able to run with pace, at least from when I've been able to watch them.
Yes, Morocco's more of a running gun team, more of
Yes.
a pace push up the field team, but Canada is as well. So it is going to be matching styles. I think it favors Canada more playing Morocco than it did the Dutch. However,
they're going to lose 2 or 3 nothing.
I disagree. I think it's 2-1 Morocco. I definitely, when we do the pick'ems for this one, I will pick Canada. Just heart over head. But yeah, it's the brutal draw for the Canadians. They needed to come in first in that pool.
I mean, you never know what can happen
Because
Paraguay.
Let's touch on that. Yeah. So Paraguay beats Germany. I'm sorry, we're going completely out of order here. Yes, Paraguay beats Germany. Who would have saw that coming? You kind of saw it though in the Ecuador game. This German side.
I know.
And Chase had mentioned it when they played Curacao. Yes, they won 7-1, but Curacao kind of played better than Germany did. Yeah. And then Germany goes out there and barely beats Cote d'Ivoire. Then they go out and lose outright to Ecuador. Granted, you're resting some players.
Yeah.
They just looked very uninspiring in this game against Paraguay. Paraguay strikes first with Inquisio in the 42nd minute. Kai Havertz gets in the 54th. Then we're at a stalemate all throughout extra time. I thought Germany had the chances in extra time. Penalties come, and they miss.
Well, I mean, the Paraguay goalie was exceptional in penalties.
Yes, he was.
He saved, I think 3, and then obviously they sailed the 1. But I will say this, too. Paraguay obviously looked terrible.
Oh, I mean, they parked the bus against Germany as well. I mean,
but against the U.S., they looked god-awful. But they have looked, I'm not going to say good. They have looked better in every game they play.
Yes, they have.
So, I mean.
They've been an improving side. So the guy you were talking about, Jonathan Tah.
I know he came out of retirement.
So he has never taken a penalty in senior competition. They had evidently, Germany asked 4 other players first to take a penalty, and they all pass. And he said, I'll do it, and then sails it. So, yes, terrible PK. But at least he had the balls to take the PK. I mean,
I would also want to see, too, because I don't think he had ever taken a PK.
No, that's what I'm saying. He has never taken a PK.
Out of the 4 they asked?
They had all taken PK.
So, why are you...
They just didn't have the nuts
to do it. If you're the coach... Get in there.
Well, it's the captain. So the coach isn't out there. So it's Kimmich that's out there asking all these players, and they're like, "No, I'm not now. No, not now." And he goes, "Fine, I'll do it." And I just
you got to feel for the guy.
You got to feel for the guy. But I mean, at least he had the balls to take it. But yes, Paraguay moving on to
another thing. If you're at that situation, aren't you itching to take the penalty?
Yeah.
If you're
you could be. If you're that guy.
If you're a competitive person, I know if I was a soccer player and I was competitive and I got asked to take a penalty, even if I was a defender or a center back, I would be up there taking that penalty. I want to win for my team. I don't want to just sit back and not have if I get asked, I'm doing it. So
keeping on trend with the bracket, France will play now Paraguay in the round of 16. They absolutely dismantled this Swedish side.
Probably do the same. Unless we get another miracle.
Yeah, 3-0, 2 from Mbappe, 1 from Barcola. Sweden had their chances in this game.
Yeah,
They really did.
in the first half they did, but in the second half it was all France. It
Um,
was all France, but at least from when I was watching.
yeah,
It was
Ollie came on. Let's check. Ollie came on in the 65th minute. I think they should have brought him in at halftime. He created a lot of opportunities for Sweden. They really should have buried one with Gyökeres. They should have buried the one at the end of the half. They were offside. No penalty call, and then Gyökeres had an opportunity in like the 88th minute. They should have buried. Really should have been a 3-2 game. But France is just absolute class on the offensive side. What'd you take away from the French?
I hate France, but I mean they are very, very good. So I will still be hate watch betting every single France game, but I don't know. It's just
I'm not donating on this next one. I promise you that much.
I will. I don't really care. So I will.
Fair
It's
enough.
principle.
Yeah. So early thoughts about Paraguay versus France. I think
France
this is an
should-
absolute dismantling, and it's
France.
5-0 France.
France should do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I will probably bet on France, but like
I think it'll be worse against Paraguay than it was against Sweden.
where's the game at?
It's a great question.
Because wasn't this Germany game in Mexico?
The Germany game was in Mexico.
So if this won't matter. If this is in Mexico, which I don't think it will be, Paraguay will have a slight advantage on the fans.
Yeah,
Just because I don't know if they can get into the country. They can get into Mexico.
it'll be in Philadelphia.
Never mind.
Yeah, I think the French will dominate. Finally, we had Brazil beat Japan in a 90th plus fifth minute goal by Gabriel Martinelli. Casemiro in the 56th for Brazil. Sano in the 29th for Japan. Japan struck first.
Yeah.
But Brazil, I was low on this Brazil team. I was not big on them.
And
They keep finding a way to score and win. I thought Japan played well enough to win in this game. I thought they definitely played well enough to force it to extra time, whereas I think, honestly, if we would have gone to penalties, they had the better goalie. Suzuki, he was absolutely a dog.
Rui Hachimura.
And then, yeah, basically, right. And so you feel for this Japanese team. I thought they'd played well enough. It's way too early to see this Japanese team go. But Brazil will now be facing the winner of our first game today. Erling Haaland buries one in the 86th minute for Norway to get over the line against Cote d'Ivoire. Amad Diallo scored in the 74th for Cote d'Ivoire. Antonio Nusa in the 39th for Norway. This is a Norway team. When Haaland is on the pitch, you can never count out. They can strike at any moment. He had the least amount of touches out of their starting 11 today until he nets it in the goal for Norway. He was absolutely ecstatic after that game.
Yeah.
So, what did you take away from Norway, and how do you see this Norway-Brazil game going?
I could see. So Norway's, at least I couldn't watch this game because I was at work, but in the group stage, the defense was questionable at times. I think if their defense has to play lockdown if they're going to win this game, which I do think they can because of you have Erling Haaland, who is one of the best strikers in the world. So I think they can win this game. Brazil has just not impressed me. I mean, obviously they beat Japan, who had impressed me in this tournament so far. But I mean, they got it in the 95th, which they scored. But I don't know. You're Brazil. You're supposed to dominate, especially with being fifth in the world or whatever they are. So I want, my heart is going to pick Norway. I do kind of think Brazil will end up winning.
Give me 2-1 Norway. Two Erling Haaland goals.
I hope so.
Yeah, I want to see the row continue. World Cup round of 32 / round of 16. No, this is all round of 32. Excuse me. Oh, I think he messed it up on the.
Slide, whatever.
Yeah, with the previous slide. Anyway, tonight we have Ecuador versus Mexico. Look, I just don't. First off, this is in Mexico. That is a key aspect. I just don't think we can overlook Ecuador beating Germany with just how poor this German side has looked, especially against Paraguay. Mexico, as much as I hate to admit it, El Tri has looked absolutely fantastic in their group stage. They rested players and still beat the crap out of Czechia. I've got it 2-0 Mexico. I think they get one in the first half. They'll get one in the second half, and then that'll kind of be the end of it. I could see it go 3-0. I don't think Ecuador scores. They've had problems scoring all tournament except against Germany. So I love Mexico in this matchup. Michael has it 3-2. I hate how he writes the score backwards, but he has it 3-2 Mexico. Luke, you have it 3-2 Mexico.
Yeah, but my 3-2, I think it's 3-1, and Ecuador just gets a goal like extremely late to make it 3-2. But I think Mexico dominates this game, especially since I don't think they've lost in Mexico. Like
it's been a while.
Team.
Yeah,
it's like 2002
yeah,
or some insane thing. So I've got it 3-2 Mexico. I think especially with this round, for the most part, it will be a lot closer. That you won't see outside of like France's. We haven't seen blowouts, so I think this will probably be within a goal.
Okay.
So that's kind of, if you look down my thing outside of the U.S. and Spain, that's kind of what I'm.
My three Lions face off against the Cinderella story, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Wisa, he is going to score for the DRC. The three Lions have honestly, my three Lions have looked poor against Panama and Ghana. They're going to turn on a switch here for the knockout round. Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Declan Rice. It's just too, Bukayo Saka. It's just too powerful of a team. The DRC's run ends here in Atlanta. England 3-1 on Canada Day. And they still own Canada technically. So 3-1 for England. Michael has it 2-0 for the three Lions. Luke, you got it in a little bit of a tight one. You think I'm gonna be stressing at work tomorrow? You got it 1-0 for the three Lions.
Yeah, I mean, if the DRC can draw, which again, Portugal didn't look good, but they're top in the world. England doesn't look good. I mean, I could totally see a 1-0 win for England. I think at the most it gets is 2-0. I don't really think the DRC scores, even though England's defense has been extremely poor. But I think this is a very tight matchup. The DRC is going to want to prove. Is they're Africa, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Africa wants to have a good cup. I had to think about that. Sorry, I'm not in college. Africa is having a good cup. I think it'll continue.
The African teams, that's a good point to mention, have honestly kicked ass this tournament, surprisingly. Speaking of African teams, Belgium against Senegal. Michael and me agree. I have it 2-1 Belgium. I think this Belgian team kind of showed what they could do in their last group stage match when they thrashed New Zealand 5-1. I think that kind of opened the door. Now, this is a Senegal side that is very formidable, but they lost 3-1 to France, but played well. They played well against Norway, but lost 3-2. But they were definitely outplayed by the Norwegians. They thrashed Iraq, but that's Iraq. So I do think it's going to be a competitive game at first. I do think it's going to be 1-1. I think Belgium will get a goal in late, within the 90-minute window to surpass Senegal. You have this as another thriller.
Yeah, I think Senegal, it'll be 2-2, and we'll end up going to penalties. And I just think this Belgian side has been extremely poor all tournament. Senegal played essentially in this like format, group of death kind of ordeal with Norway and France. So and Senegal's a top 15 team in the world. So I think Senegal will win. I think getting that win against Iraq was a complete confidence boost, because Belgium, like New Zealand's not very good either. So that was a confidence boost for them. But I just think this aging Belgium side will not have the legs to end up going with Senegal, who's got some absolutely demons on the edge.
Yeah, on the wings they do. Our Americans play Bosnia and Herzegovina on July 1st at 7 p.m. Maybe our score's a little bit biased here, but I think not. I think the Bosnia is going to try to sit back and defend against this American team. And what has the American teams done to teams that try to sit back? I mean, they have pressed and absolutely dismantled teams like Paraguay and Australia who have tried to sit back. The only team they've lost to, Turkey, tried to push forward against them. And Turkey, despite the results, are a much better side.
And the B team being out there,
and the B team was out there. I think this U.S. team is poised for a run, Luke. I'm going to be honest with you. Michael's got it 3-1 U.S. I've got it 3-0. I don't think Bosnia contends with them at all, and I think the U.S. have gotten a very good draw here in the round of 32. What do you think?
I completely agree. I think that Canada group was probably the worst group in the whole tournament. And Bosnia, I mean, yes, they beat Qatar, but would they tie Canada?
Yeah, they drew with Canada.
And then they lost to Switzerland.
Yeah, and they were on a red, but yes.
But I mean, it's Bosnia, and the U.S. has had their momentum is 10 times greater than Bosnia's is. The only thing goalkeeping, this is my only worry. Matt Freese has not really been tested that much. So, I mean, he's probably got 4 saves in the 2 games he played. So I don't think he's been tested a whole bunch. That's my only worry coming into this big stage of the round of 32. But I think we'll get it done. Pulisic's coming back healthy. He looked
against
great form against
Turkey.
Thank you. I was about to say Switzerland. Wrong red flag. But yeah, I think we get it done 3-0.
Finally, we have next we have Spain against Austria. Michael has it 3-0 for the Spaniards. You got it 2-0.
Yeah, I mean we kind of saw at the end of that group stage, if I'm not mistaken, that they kind of showed that they're the Spain with Yamal and some of their other attack strikers coming back. And I think it'll be 2-0 win. I think it'll be just, I don't think it's going to be like a dominant 2-0. It'll be 1-0. They'll be pressing, and then they'll just get a goal late to make it 2.
I honestly think we're going to have another major upset.
I can see it. Austria
has looked the part. They played well against Jordan, who honestly gave Argentina a little bit of a run. They played well against Argentina. They had their moments in that game. And then the Algeria game was just one of those weird ones where I think neither team wanted to win.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to lose. They kind of wanted just to draw. So they literally scored at will. They scored at will. Yes.
The other team would go right down.
And they would let them score. Like they controlled the game. It was very strange.
It was Malik Beasley-esque.
Yes, it was. It was weird. I think Austria, kind of let the game flow exactly how they wanted to. Speaking of Spain, yes, they absolutely thrashed Saudi Arabia. This is a team that tied Cape Verde.
Yeah.
This is a team that honestly should have drawn or even lost to Uruguay. A team that has not looked good the entire tournament, looked poor against Cape Verde, looked poor against Saudi Arabia. I think we are going to have a shocker in extra time. Austria is going to be moving on to the round of 16.
I totally see it.
Yeah, it's possible.
But would we play them in? No, we wouldn't play. We played the Belgium winner next.
Yeah, so the U.S. would be matched up with the winner of Belgium and Senegal. That would be a potential quarter matchup with also Portugal and Croatia. Speaking of Portugal and Croatia, I honestly have not been impressed with either of these two teams. I actually was decently impressed with Croatia's performance against Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
Late winner. Portugal has not looked great at all. I think it goes 1-1 PKs. Portugal gets it done just because I do have that lack of trust that we've seen Croatia against quality sides like England. I have Portugal getting it done in a thriller. Michael has it 2-1 for Portugal. You've got the Croatians taking it home.
Yeah, I've just not been impressed with Portugal at all in this tournament. I mean, outside of Uzbekistan, they have just looked extremely poor. Cristiano Ronaldo has not looked good. Now, they do have one of the best midfields in the tournament, but I just kind of think Croatia just gets one. This is just kind of gut feeling that they're going to end up stealing one. So, I mean, it's an aging side. I'm not going to try and pronounce the dude's name that's been there forever.
Modric.
Modric. Okay. I could see it. I know who he is. I just didn't know his name. But I think they're going to get some late heroics from him, end up winning this game.
Yeah. That would be a dream if my prediction in the Austria game and your prediction in the Croatia-Portugal game came true. It would be a dream for the Americans. Finally, we have Switzerland versus Algeria at 10 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, I'll be up for it, dude. Got nothing, no football this week, so I'm working up late for work. I can't figure out this Algeria side. I do think there is some quality. However, I do think the Swiss have not played their best yet, and they've kind of showed that they have potential against Canada, who I do think is a quality side, as I've said. I've got it 3-1 Switzerland. I'm kind of with you, though, on the Spain thing. I think it's kind of like a 1-1 game. Switzerland gets one, make it 2-1, maybe like the 70th minute. Algeria goes full forward, and Switzerland puts it away 3-1. Michael's got it 2-0 Swiss. You've got it as a back-and-forth banger.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Algeria, I don't think they've looked all that well. Let me start with this. I don't think Switzerland has looked the greatest, and I think Algeria has looked okay. I think this is just a complete.
There have been times that Algeria's looked good. There's been times that Switzerland's looked bad, and vice versa.
I think it's a complete mid-off, in my opinion, and I think it'll be a lot of goals scored. But I think Switzerland, who is ultimately the better team, will win 3-2.
Finally, we conclude our episode with best things that happened this weekend. I went to Vegas this weekend. Flew in Friday, flew out yesterday. We went to Kenny Chesney at the Sphere. So my first best thing that happened this weekend was the Sphere. We sat in the 400 section. It was up top. Last time we sat down low. Let me tell you, the 400 section is the place you need to sit in the Sphere. I want to go with the Swiss Army Boys to Metallica. It is absolutely electric. The bass is insane. The visuals are insane. Kenny Chesney is one hell of a performer. I love his music. So that is my top thing that happened this weekend. My second top thing that happened this weekend was Huff and Puff. This is a slot machine, all right, in the Venetian. Your boy was down to his last $3 of cash. He said, screw it, we're going to go throw it in the Huff and Puff machine. On my second spin, I hit the mansion feature or whatever and won $200. Walked away with $200 cash. awesome
Yeah.
for the Huff and Puff. Used it to buy my lunch today and some Red Bull. And so I still got more left, but that's what my cash is going towards. And then the Yahoo Sportsbook. So in the Venetian, there is a Yahoo Sportsbook like lounge area, bar area where you got food and drinks, and you've got massive TVs with every single game you could possibly watch on it. We spent a lot of time there. There was a literal sports book right next to it. You can go and place your bets. We eat a little chips and guac. Let's go place a little live bet here. It was electric. It was an absolutely great weekend in Vegas. Enjoyed the time with the fam. Always never misses. Luke, what happened this weekend?
I started Game of Thrones, started watching it after the Canada game, or before, and then after the Canada game. Have you ever seen it?
I have not seen Got.
All right. Like the only thing that's kind of like sticking with me, the main character looks like Triple H.
Okay.
Like he like I'll show you a picture after this. He looks like Triple H. So yeah, it's a good show. But I just started. I'm like season 5 or episode 5 of season 1.
Then show.
Yeah, I know it's 8 seasons. So and then FIFA, I went on an absolute run this weekend. I won like 7 in a row at one point.
Hell yeah.
I got promoted twice.
We hopping on the game tonight?
Maybe. What's the night game tonight?
Mexico, Ecuador at 8.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I went on an absolute run in FIFA and got like promoted twice. So
hell yeah.
And then
I'm just curious, what are we running on FIFA? What are we playing?
Rivals.
Rivals.
Yeah, I'm just playing Rivals. So then my last thing I've
You
discovered.
discovered Jamie Vardy.
I discovered Jamie Vardy.
Congratulations.
He is electric. He just like it literally looks like he's trying to kick the ball as hard as he can and kill the goalie. I have seen his 11-game goal streak thing multiple times. He literally has a bottle opener that is a penis. I kid you not. That is something he owns. So I just think he's electric, and all the edits have been great. So yeah, Jamie Vardy.
I was thinking about this weekend. We've got to get you. You have to join the Wickham Wanderers fan club that I'm on. You've got to join my side so that we can watch games at 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. on Saturday mornings when we're battling for promotion and relegation in the 3rd division of English football. Or we can pick up a Premier League team. Come on, you Spurs. But that'll do it for episode 73 of Swiss Army Sports until Thursday when we break down this upcoming weekend's action. If anything else crazy happens around the league of sports, because it's coming. It's summertime. It's what they call it, silly season. It's silly season for the NBA and the NHL. So until then, tune in, watch us on YouTube and listen on Spotify. Check out our TikTok at Swiss Army SP. Have a good night.